and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be giving my match reaction between Italy and England. But unfortunately I have to start my video on such an unfortunate note, obviously because of the racism which has been happening with the English penalty takers, RASHFORD, Sancho and SAKA, and it's absolutely unbelievable what people are actually doing this. Like, come on, grow up. Like, you love them when Saka and Sterling are scoring those important vital goals in the knockout rounds. Like, Sterling scored 2 or 3, in the group stages, and then 1 against Germany. Like, come on, you love them there. But when they don't live up to the standards one time, that's when you choose to hate them. It's absolutely ridiculous, and social media need to do something about this, especially Instagram, Facebook. They need to put you need some ID on your account or something like this, because there's been too many troll accounts actually affecting people's mental health. So social media need to break down on this, and they need to put something enforceable to ensure that this stops happening. These players, whoever missed the penalty, I don't care what happened in terms of that, but these players need to be celebrated. They are proud players. They've delivered us something which so many players, so many legends from the past could not do, help us reach a final. So these guys deserve all the round of applause. What I also want to say is, obviously, congratulations to Italy. They were the better side on the night. They were also the better side throughout the whole tournament. They deserve to win. Donnarumma deserved player of the tournament. Chiellini, Bonnuci, Warriors, they deserve their first international trophy on the biggest stage. Obviously, Chiesa and Insigne played absolutely extraordinary throughout the whole of the tournament, and I can't think of a better side who actually deserved to win this trophy. They've been very consistent, and out of all the nations, they probably deserve it the most. They've been absolutely phenomenal. The only game I feel like they could have done better was against Spain, but they got the job done and they won on penalties. But yeah, they were better on the night and they deserve to win. So congratulations, Italy, and I hope they celebrate, and I guess they did go to Rome. But in terms of this video, I'm going to be talking about what actually went wrong for England, what actually was the reasons why England lost, and what we could have done better. But I don't want to criticize the team too much, because obviously they were so successful, but we need to look at what we can improve, especially for next year. It's coming so quick, the Qatar World Cup, where we need to get heads and mindset right to challenge the teams in the competition and potentially go one step further and win it. But yeah, remember guys, make sure you guys like, comment and hit that big subscribe button right there. And make sure you guys give your thoughts on how well England did throughout the whole of the tournament. What you think could have been done better. What you think Southgate needs to do to improve his style of management. What players needed to step up a little bit better in terms of the game itself. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think. So the first thing I want to talk about is, let me start with the system. And I was a firm believer in the system of a 3 at the back. And I feel like it worked in the first half, especially for the first 30 minutes. I felt like it gave England the shape, the organisation, a foundation to stifle Italy and prevent them playing their style of football. And it worked. Jorginho, Verratti, they couldn't find places to pass the ball into pockets of space for Chiesa and Insigne. They struggled to make vital, creative passes for their attacking players. And I feel like the shape really challenged and scared Italy, because they didn't know what to do, like Germany didn't know what to do when we literally stifled them as well. I feel like Declan Rice had an amazing game, especially throughout the first half. Every 50 ball, every single challenge, every single time it was in the air, you knew he was going to win the ball. He put his body on the line on so many occasions to get blocks, tackles, etc, etc. Use his strength, use his build to prevent Verratti and other players of Italy to build up play. And obviously, even on the front foot, he was really our only real outlet ball, because every single time Maguire or Stones got the ball, after the first 30 minutes, they kept clearing it. But Rice was the only real player who would drive with the ball, get the ball up, and even if players didn't look like they wanted the ball at their feet, he would be the one taking the Italian defenders on, which I didn't really know he had that in his game. So he has that sort of engine which England really needed throughout the game, and he did perform well. I feel like he was the best player on the pitch for England. I know people say Luke Shaw, who had an extraordinary game as well. His goal was absolutely amazing. It was erupted the whole of the nation. Literally amazing goal, but his composure, his touch was great, his crossing ability. Even Harry Kane in the first 30 minutes, the system really challenged Italy on the defensive side as well. He would drop deep in that Cesc Fabregas role. Like I always say, his creative passing is great. His long distance passing, he can pick a ball out from 40-50 yards out, and he kept doing that to Trippier, who had joy down that right wing and kept crossing the ball, and which led to Luke Shaw's goal. The system was working and England fans were happy, and I felt like Gareth Southgate got this absolutely right, especially the first 30 minutes. But like I was saying, it was strange, because obviously I was glad we scored early, but at the same time, it just gave us some sort of foundation to park the bus. And I've said this on many occasions, a three at the back does mean play defensive football, but that doesn't mean park the bus. And there's a fine line. Like I've said, Inter Milan, under Conte, Chelsea, under Tuchel, they have that style of playing defensive, but when they need to break, they will break with pace, energy and desire. England didn't break like that. It quickly went from a 3-4-3 in the first half to a 5-4-1 in the second half, and Italy had us camped. And when you don't have the ball for large spells of the game and there's 35% of the ball, of course you're going to be tired because the ball moves much more faster than the man. So obviously when Italy are passing the ball around, they're not exerting that much energy. But when you have Rice, Phillips, Trippier, Shaw chasing the ball every single time, moving side to side, it's going to tire out our players, and eventually it caught up to England because we saw in the second half how Italy started to find more pockets of space, started to get more creative. And this leads me to my second point. Gareth Southgate should have took the initiative and he should have changed the system when he saw it didn't work. This was the difference between a world-class Premier League winning manager in Roberto Mancini and Gareth Southgate, who hasn't had a job before this one. We saw the difference because Roberto Mancini, when he saw the system wasn't working, he brought on 2 subs which completely changed the game, and Gareth Southgate couldn't keep up with this. And I was begging before the tournament, Gareth Southgate, I know you have a style, I know it's defensive, but if you see something not working, change it. You're allowed to change it. That's why you have substitutions. That's why they gave you even 5 substitutions. I wasn't going to recommend him to go that far, but come on. If you see the game teetering away from us, you need to bring fresh legs. You need to bring some sort of creativity. You need to bring some sort of life back into the game in terms of England's side. And he didn't do this. The game teetered out, and it felt like England were holding on to that 1-0 victory, and obviously we're going to concede because the Italian side are very, very good, and obviously they're going to score. And I feel like Gareth Southgate wasn't brave enough, and I feel like he was scared. If he was brave enough, he would have taken off Mason Mount, who had a below average tournament, who I absolutely love, but had a below average tournament. Let's get the facts. He didn't have a great tournament. And I know he loves his work rate on the left hand side or the right hand side, literally working down, because obviously Italy kept going down the flanks. I know he loves that. But when you see we're 1-0 up, and we need more creativity, and we need to hold on the ball for dear life, especially since the relentless attacks Italy will happen. You have to bring on Jack Grealish, who is a specialist in winning and drawing fouls, who would have given us so much breathing time to have free kicks, maybe more set pieces which we needed, where Maguire and Stones did look dangerous on occasions. But he didn't do this. I don't know why he didn't do this. And Jack Grealish would have given us that creativity like we saw against Czech Republic, like we saw against Germany. In his 50-60 minutes of playing throughout the whole tournament, maybe he did start one game, he was better than Mason Mount. So I don't understand why he didn't bring him on. Maybe I understand why he didn't start, but when you see the game changing, you have to bring on Jack Grealish. But he wasn't brave enough. He wanted to sit back. He was thinking that maybe we could not concede for a whole 90 minutes. I don't know what he was thinking. But also Harry Kane, I know I'm the guy who always backs Harry Kane and said that he should start and he deserved to start. And throughout the whole tournament, he did have a slow start, but he did pick it up near the end, scoring vital goals against Ukraine and Germany, etc. and Denmark. But at the end of the day, when you see Chiellini and Bonnuci bossing him, putting him in their pocket, you have to make changes, and Gareth Southgate didn't really make changes. I know it was a risk at the time. I know it would have been risky and you'd have had the English media attack you after, how you taking off Captain Kane, what are you doing? But when you see the game plan's clearly not working, especially that Chiellini and Bonnuci are 35 plus years of age, you have to do something which will make them challenge. Other talking points, obviously the penalty shootout situation. Gareth Southgate, what are you doing yet again? I understand you want to bring on penalty takers, but bring them on 5 more minutes before the game's ended, rather than bringing Marcus Rashford on as a right back with 2 minutes to go. He hasn't had the feel of the game. He hasn't found his rhythm during the game. Not even did Sancho have his rhythm during the game. You bring them on rusty, not having a feel of the game, making them take the biggest penalties of their life in front of 67,000 screaming fans cheering them on, and you don't even think, how could I try to prevent this? not get them into the game, not get them a smooth transition into the game. You just throw them right into the deep end. And obviously, with the nerves and the rustiness, of course they were going to miss. You just saw with Marcus Rashford's penalty. I'm not going to attack anyone who missed a penalty because, oh my goodness, I don't think I would take a penalty in front of that many fans. But obviously, Marcus Rashford, like if you saw with his run-up, like I know he likes to do the steady stop type of run up where he runs and then he stops and he runs again like he done against PSG, and he scored very, very important penalties. I'm not mad at him taking it, but we just saw that even throughout the rhythm of his penalty, that's not what he does at Man United. You saw with that extra stop at the end, and he took a little bit longer to shoot against Donnarumma. You just saw that the nerves, I felt it. And then he hit the post and he overcompensated. You can tell he overthought it because he hit the post. Whereas if he had the natural flow of the game, if he had a couple shots during the game, he would not have thought about trying to place it. It would have been a natural finish into the corner. But obviously, he didn't have the flow. He didn't have the rhythm of the game because he was brought on so late. And Bukayo Saka, I feel so sorry for him because I was screaming at my TV. I thought when Gareth Southgate brought on RASHFORD and Sancho, I genuinely thought he was going to take off Saka because I was thinking, I said 15-20 minutes left, take off Saka because he does not deserve to have this pressure, this sort of burden placed on him as a teenager to take a penalty. But even Jack Grealish, who hasn't taken penalties in the past, he would have potentially been a better fit, man. Why can't he take a penalty? John Stones, been Champions League finals, won Premier Leagues. Obviously, his passing's great. Potentially, he could shoot a ball. Kyle Walker, Pickford, who's apparently great at penalties. There's so many other experienced players who could have stepped in before Bukayo Saka. But at the end of the day, what I'm going to say is let me end this on a high note. These players have done England proud. Of course, like I said, with a very, very bad year, COVID, being left indoors, mental health being at all-time low, etc., etc., these guys have brought belief, passion, spirit back into England's hearts. They've captivated the hearts and minds of a nation, and they have done the nation proud. When we've seen so many England legends in the past, Rio Ferdinand, John Terry, Steven Gerrard, Paul Scholes, Frank Lampard, Wayne Rooney, Ashley Cole, Michael Owen, Robbie Fowler, Ian Wright, all these great legendary players, and they were not able to win a major competition, just like these players, but these guys gave us this belief that potentially we could have. And obviously, the golden generation were unable, they were unsuccessful actually get into a semi-finals. These guys have got into a semi-finals and a finals in the space of 3 years. These guys have given us hope that we actually have the skill, we actually have the arsenal to get into the latter stages of major international tournaments. I have grown up as an England fan throughout the years, not experiencing great memories. I can go back 2008, we didn't qualify for the Euros. 2010, Frank Lampard's disallowed goal. 2010, Robert Green obviously fumbles the ball. 2012, lose to Italy on penalties, ironically. 2014, don't even get out the group stages, do not even win a game. 2016, lose to Iceland. And then a new era dawned on us, and 2018, we had the belief going into the semi-finals. 2021, going to the finals at Wembley, giving fans the feeling, the belief that we can actually win the tournament. These guys should be proud. They've done everyone proud. So guys, be proud. See you next year. See you in Qatar. And potentially by then, it may be coming home.